Hi, so this is a video, one in a series of videos that I'm making, which is explaining my thoughts as to how I would do pre-season planning or training for 2024. In this video, I'm going to look at repeat sprintability, probably a term that you haven't heard before, but undoubtedly an activity that you've done. If you've ever done shuttles before, where you sprint, rest a bit, but you don't get optimal time to recover and sprint again, that is repeat sprint ability. The benefit of which is that you'll be doing that within a game environment or competition environment where you'll be sprinting most likely to, catch a player or whatever it might be, and then you may not have the time to recover optimally before you're asked or expected to repeat to sprint again. There are many ways to set up repeat sprints or repeat sprintability. The simplest one that I found is 6 by 40 meter sprints with a 20-second rest in between. And let me show you how I would set that one up. So first off, I would set up 4 cones 20 meters apart. Then I would get all the players to stand behind the cones, and I would get them to sprint. And they sprint 20 meters up, 20 meters back, and then they get a 20-second recovery time. So in terms of that, bearing in mind that players will be returning at different times because some will be quicker than others, how do you manage that? How do you ensure that each of the players get their 20 seconds passive recovery? What I would do, and we talked on this on a previous video, is I'd stick my iPhone on a tripod. You could buy those relatively inexpensively and get the stopwatch going, and then ask the players when they finish their 40-meter sprint to look at the stopwatch and to measure the 20 seconds of recovery before they go again. Now, I know it's not ideal because you have to rely on the fact that people have actually done the 20 seconds of recovery, not more than that, or less as the case might be. But at the end of the day, trying to manage these situations as best as we can, that's the solution I'm working with currently. So they've done their 20 meters up, 20 meters back, 40 meters. That's their first sprint done. They've had the 20 seconds rest, and then I would get them to repeat. So off they go again. This is sprint 2, up and back. Take another 20 seconds passive recovery, just standing still, getting their breath. And in total, they'll repeat this 6 times. So 6 by 40 meters, 6 times 20 meters up and 20 meters back with a 20-second rest in between each. Now, repeat sprint abilities allow you to calculate a fatigue index. A fatigue index allows you to measure how quickly a person tires, which is obviously a very useful thing to know. And essentially, it's just measuring the person's fastest sprint time against their slowest sprint time. However, when you've got multiple players doing this activity, as I'm sure that you will have, that can be quite difficult to measure. How do you measure 16 players' fastest time and slowest time when they're all running at the same time? So that might be difficult for you to do in that respect. But similarly, we can take the idea of the fatigue index, and I would imagine that you'll probably see 3 groups. And there'll be those players who start fast and finish fast. There'll be those players who start slow and finish slow. And the most interesting group to me is those who are going to start fast but finish slow. And clearly you would encourage the start slow, finish slow, the number 2 group to work on this ability. But similarly, I'd keep an eye out on those who start fast and finish slow, because those guys are going to tire quickly as well. So that's it. In terms of the summary of repeat sprints, it's the ability to sprint, rest, but not optimally, before you sprint again. There are various methods that you can use in terms of exercise prescriptions, how far and how fast and so on and so forth. Whatever you choose to do, I keep the distances short and ensure that the players are sprinting. I've used 6 by 40 meters or 6 by 20 plus 20 meters, 20 meters up, 20 meters back with a 20-second rest in between. But there are a variety of different methods that you can use. And here's a link to a research paper which will show you a few more options if you want to. And though it might be difficult to measure accurately, you can certainly still consider the concept of a fatigue index, which is looking at how quickly people tire and looking at those in particular who may start off quickly but slow quickly as well. So that's it from me. Any thoughts or questions that you've got with regards to videos that I've made, please put them in the comments below. Thanks.